excited to be here. Right before we get into things, we got a lot to cover today. Let me know if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay, how's the connection. This is my first live stream in Vietnam, so I'm hoping for the best that we do have a good connection here. Alright, oh, we got my dad here. Hi Alina, I'm at Lloyd's and Donna Lynn's in Saskatoon. Hey Dad, and hi to Lloyd and Donna Lynn. Hope you guys are good. Hello to Alex from Reporterfy. Thank you so much. Bob from Florida. Hello. Buenaventura from the Philippines. Very cool. Aw, thank you so much to Harriet, Jim, and Yuki as always. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hello, Alina. Hope you are well and safe. Congrats to 200,000. Sending you so much love. Thank you so much, guys. You are so sweet. And of course, that does bring me to a fairly big announcement. Let me actually move away from this slightly busy road. Yes, guys, the channel hit 200,000 subscribers, which is so exciting. Before I even started my Southeast Asia trip, I was hoping I could hit 200,000 before the end of the year. But when I was only getting about I think I was averaging maybe 3,000 subscribers a month, which is still, good, I think. The numbers wouldn't, add up to 200,000 at the time. But basically, ever since I got to Indonesia, it's been so nice to have so much support, and I've basically been gaining like 5,000 to 10,000 subscribers every single month for the last 3 months. So to hit my goal more than a month of when I was hoping is really exciting. So thank you so much to everybody who just joined me, and especially an even bigger thank you to everybody who has been with me for a very long time. I really do appreciate it. This is my dream job. I feel so lucky to be able to do this. So thank you all so much for your support. And who knows when 300,000 will come. With YouTube, honestly, it can sometimes take a really long time, or it could happen, just like that. So we'll see. Oh, we got my friend Lane here. Hello, girl. Good to have you here. We got Colin from New Mexico, USA. We got Bill from Perth. We got Steve from North Carolina. Very cool. Thank you all so much for coming out. So today is going to be an interesting live stream. I already know it. I've been here in Ho Chi Minh for about a week now, but other than the first full day that I was here, it has been raining. And yes, we need rain for the earth to be fertile and survive, but I feel like I've gotten more than enough in the last 3 months of my trip in Southeast Asia, because I am more or less on the shoulder season of rainy season, and I just assumed that the statistics that they show online of it only rains 8 to 10 days, during the shoulder season. It's not that bad. Well, most days of my trip, there has been some rain, and it definitely makes filming, challenging, and planning things challenging. So we're gonna hope for the best for today. Already I do feel lucky because there's not rain right now, and there's even some sun, which I'm very grateful for. So yeah, hopefully for the next hour or two, we're gonna have good weather. I have a really great route planned for us, although I did have to slightly change it, because let me show you guys what I am working with. So as you can see, first of all, this is like a beautiful pedestrian walkway that they have here downtown. So we're going to be going that way. I initially wanted to start all the way down there by this lovely river walk. They have this lovely river walk. You get a nice view kind of another business district that's over there. That's really pretty. But as you can see, there's an extremely busy road in front of us. And while there is some pedestrian crossings, they don't stop. Like, I've never actually been to a country where it's been this intense. In both the Philippines and Indonesia, you know, the scooters basically, you know, they act as pedestrians and a vehicle. They do whatever they want whenever they want. So they keep going even if there is, you know, a pedestrian walkway. The cars thankfully stop. But I did not want to try and cross that road while I am live streaming. I crossed that road probably 3-4 days ago, and it was so extremely stressful. So stressful. And while I know like the drivers are pretty good, like they are good at, like, I don't know, weaving around you, they have skills that I obviously have not yet acquired, but I just thought that that's too dangerous to be doing, you know, while live streaming, and just let's not do that. But usually I would say that, you know, if you were in this area and feel like risking your life a bit, you can try and go across the street and walk down by the riverway. It is a really, oh, that guy was saying hi. It is a really beautiful area to walk around, so just wanted to mention that. But yes, like I said, we are here in District 1 in the main downtown square, and this is my favorite part of the city. It is extremely beautiful. There's all these big skyscrapers all around. There's lots of awesome restaurants and shops in this area. People come out here and just relax and chill. They have some kind of photo exhibition that they're putting up right now, and then there's a stage in front of us, so we are actually going to have to dart around to get around it to keep going. But yeah, I really like this area, and I came here actually on a grab scooter. Took about 10 minutes, but if I was to make a recommendation of like where to stay in the city, I would say probably somewhere near this area. And yeah, if any locals could tell me what this photo exhibition is, much appreciated, because it is all in Vietnamese, but I assume maybe something with you know, the independence of Vietnam, different historical events, I guess, maybe. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, the capital of Vietnam is Hanoi, but Ho Chi Minh, formerly known as Saigon, of course, is actually the economic center of the country and also the largest city. Online, I read it was like 9 million people that live here, but my tour guide that I had hired here said it was actually 13 million. So, you know, a very big city and home to some big corporations, and is really a fast-paced kind of city, especially with the traffic, as you can tell. So let's just get around this stage and then we can keep going. See here. Just gonna put this on this side. Oh, see, look at that. See, the cars stop, but the scooters will always keep going. One sec, guys, let me just get around here. Oh, is my connection not good? Ukraine dude said my internet is acting up, or his internet. Oh, let me know if the connection is all right. Thank you very much to Asia from Pakistan, much appreciated. Thank you very much to Mia. Oh, and just want to say a quick almost happy Thanksgiving to all of my American friends. It's this Thursday, right? Because it's my Thursday here, Thursday morning, so technically US Thanksgiving here right now, but it's Wednesday night in North America going into Thursday tomorrow, so happy early Thanksgiving to all my fellow neighbors across the border. Aw, thank you so much to Larry for the very sweet super chat. Thank you so much. Hope you are doing well. Very kind of you. Okay, internet is great, fantastic, thank you. Glad to hear it. Okay, as always, I gotta tell you guys an internet story of, I enjoy telling you guys the packages that I get overseas and how much it costs. Okay, wild. So I arrive at the airport at like 2 a.m. Yeah, about a week ago now. And I read online that the best carrier to go with here in Vietnam is Viettel. And first, when I was looking for a SIM card, they were basically trying to sell me everything but Viettel. Like these other brands that I hadn't really, heard of as much about. And I don't know, maybe the people selling it get an extra kickback from those brands or something, but I was like adamant. I'm like, no, I want Viettel. I heard that's the best one. And so finally I get Viettel, and they only have one big package. So of course, if I would have come into the city, went direct to Viettel, I probably could have gotten a smaller package for even less money. But it was late at night. I'd prefer to have internet, and it was still a crazy good deal for the price. So get this, guys, 30-day package, and it has this interesting thing of 6 gigabytes a day. You have a max of 6 gigabytes a day. So if you went over 6 gigabytes in one day, it actually would stop working. So that's the one clause. But total, you get 180 gigabytes. Ooh, that didn't go well. So they're doing construction over there. So 180 gigabytes. Just quickly, can anybody type in the comments, how much do you think I paid in, let's say, US dollars for 180 gigabytes for 30 days? In about 15 seconds, I'm going to tell you guys, but let's see if anybody can get close. Oh, Thomas Prince says $12. Deacon says 100. That would be the minimum you would pay in Canada for probably 20 gigabytes. 180, I don't even think that exists. Larry says 99. Steve G says 45. Plowman 30. Borton $5. I don't know where you're from that you can get $5. Alex says 5. Bad Fun 15. Dijon 10. Okay, we got some people that are actually quite close. So in Canadian dollars, for all my Canadians who are being so wrongly oppressed by the internet companies, it is 15 Canadian dollars for that package per month. For US, I guess that'd be closer to 11 or 12. So 180 gigabytes. I get, I think, 100 minutes, on local calls, unlimited text, whatever. 12 US dollars. And look, right, my connection's pretty good. It's not 5G here. They don't have 5G here. But yeah, so far it has been really, really good. So just wild. I've never had a phone package this big. So I know I'm not going to use it all. I remember in the Philippines, I think my package was 80 gigabytes, which, is huge too. And I think I used about 60. But I was hot spotting. I was using my phone, for my regular internet as well. So that's why I use so much. Usually I'd say I use maybe 30 to 40 on an average month, which, yes, coming back to Canada, I would be paying $150 for that amount. So FYI, just wanted to let you guys know about that. Thank you so much for the congratulations, Saif. And then there's somebody else who said congratulations on 200K. Thank you so much as always, guys. All right, let's keep moving forward. But I thought I had to share about the internet packages because that blew my mind. I've never seen one that big. And I wondered, I'm just why is it that big? Who's actually gonna use it? I guess if you are maybe hotspotting for different people, I guess a whole family could just get one package and then just hotspot off of it for the different phones. So actually maybe that is what some people do, and then it's extremely inexpensive, right? So yeah. One thing though, maybe, I don't know, some other Canadians that have been here could recommend to me is, are there any banks that don't charge you fees to take out money? Because I've actually struggled in both Indonesia and Philippines to find good, reliable bank branches that don't charge me an extra fee to take out money. My bank that I have in Canada doesn't charge me any international ATM fees and has a good currency exchange rate, which is great. But here, for example, I've actually primarily been using Citibank, and the fee isn't big. It's like $3-4 every time, but you know, it adds up because you can only take out so much at a time. So if anybody has a recommendation of, yeah, any good banks here in Vietnam that don't charge fees and are good for like North American banks, please let me know. Just felt like pointing this out because this is definitely a special thing to Vietnam, where look at all the different businesses in, like, hello, somebody's waving, cute, a 10-story, you know, building with lots of different restaurants and cafes. And it's always fun to actually find the place. You have to almost go down these like dark alleys, find the staircase, and then, you know, you have to walk all the way up. None of the places that I've been in have any kind of elevators. So yeah, I feel like that's something special to Vietnam, or at least Ho Chi Minh, I guess I should say Ho Chi Minh. Yeah. I think they call them actually apartment cafes. What is going on here? Oh, I think maybe they're doing like a photo shoot class, one model and like 6 photographers. That's pretty cool. Nice. I think I saw a really good question from there. Sorry about that. Yes, sometimes, you know, you're gonna have issues with the internet here as well, but hopefully that was an anomaly. I saw somebody actually already did answer Shannon's question about why Ho Chi Minh has the name that it has. It is named after one of the most prominent leaders of the, you know, North Vietnam political movement during the war. And then after, what are they doing? After obviously Northern Vietnam won the war and became the leadership of the country, they named Saigon after that leader, Ho Chi Minh. Where we're actually going to now is the statue that they made in his honor. So I'm not gonna, you know, get too political with, you know, opinions about the war and everything that happened. I don't know, you know, if you can get in trouble for that sort of thing here. And, you know, everybody's just entitled to different opinions. So I'll give facts about what happened, but obviously just don't want to cause any trouble when I'm in the country, if you know what I mean. All right. So yeah, there's lots of good hotels, coffee shops in this area, and actually above the coffee shops, my God, if you love coffee the way I love coffee, you will love Ho Chi Minh. There are so many great cafes with such an array of different varieties and, you know, the proper different ways to make it. It is heaven. It is absolute heaven for coffee lovers. So just very happy with the food scene in general here. It is very good. There we are. More apartment cafes, live music. That green, bluish building is a mall, actually. Lane asks, have you had Vietnamese iced coffee yet? Yes, I have. Delicious. It does have a very distinct taste to it, and I think they do put I don't know, like just like a little bit of sugar in it, or at least the places that I've been to have put a little bit of sugar in it, you know, without me asking for it. It's just, I think the the way they make it, so it's got a little bit of a sweetness to it. So very, very good. I really like this fountain that has a beautiful lotus flower right on top of it. I'll give you guys a view here in just a second. And yes, John is also correct. Vietnam is a huge coffee grower, so the coffee itself is grown here in Vietnam as well. Over here is the Saigon Center. For any mall lovers like me, I love good malls. Hello, oh, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, the Saigon Center is my favorite mall in Ho Chi Minh that I've been to. So if you come here, that would be my recommendation. They're putting up some kind of market over there on the street for the weekend, I think. This is like a really fancy boutique district. And then my tour guide, I did a city tour here, he was actually talking about this hotel, the Rex Hotel, which still has this beautiful rooftop where you can go get a drink. It's still recommended to go there. But apparently during the Vietnam War, this was like the place to go for US soldiers to have a good time, if you know what I mean. So it was very popular, you could say. And it's still, you know, a popular place to go. You'd have like a beautiful view of the city. So I might actually go there before I leave. So we shall see. We're gonna go up to Ho Chi Minh in just a minute here, and then we're actually gonna backtrack this way. But for anybody who doesn't follow me on Instagram, I had put out a bit of a cryptic sort of video talking about how the person who was supposed to meet me here in Vietnam wasn't able to. They had a very unexpected and what's the word for it? It's not a common thing what happened, you could say, and totally out of the blue, but at the end of the day, not a big deal, and hopefully we'll find a way to fix it in the next couple of days. But yeah, basically I am waiting on somebody special to come join me because I want them to be able to tell the story of what happened, because it is just wild. So I'm gonna save that as a surprise. But basically I was supposed to be leaving Ho Chi Minh with them tomorrow. Like, they were already supposed to be here right now, and obviously that didn't happen. So now I'm going to be in Ho Chi Minh till probably early next week. I really hope that we can leave to Hoi An by Tuesday or Wednesday, I guess, or Thursday. Anyways, we would leave next week, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to, because I can only spend 30 days in the country, right? I just have a 30-day tourist visa. So if I spend 2 weeks in Ho Chi Minh, then I only have 2 weeks left for the rest of the country. And I want to at least see Hoi An and Da Nang together in that area. And then I want to go to Hanoi, go to Ha Long Bay. There's actually a lot of things in the north that I want to see. So I'm really hoping that, yeah, we can get their flight figured out and get them here as soon as possible. But yeah, it's been a very stressful past few days, if I'm being honest. I'm much more calm and at ease now than I was in the last few days, because even before they got here, I had so many, when they were supposed to get here, I had so many things that I had to kind of prep and get ready for. So it's been a bit of a chaotic week, if I'm being honest, and then it all just completely fell to shambles. But you know what, that's how life goes sometimes, and you just have to make the best of it. So let's hope things work out. All right, guys, so here is the main statue of Ho Chi Minh, the political communist leader. And somebody had asked the question that which side was which. So the northern Vietnam was the Communist Party that won the war, that gained leadership, and the south was the side that the Americans fought on, and that also had backing from the French colonialists, because before that, Vietnam was actually a colony of France. So obviously they gained independence from them as well. Behind the statue of Ho Chi Minh is the City Hall, which is absolutely stunning, a French colonial style as well. And yeah, like I said, this city square is one of the most famous and prominent parts of the city, and they say that until you come to this city square, you have not visited Ho Chi Minh. So you absolutely have to come here if you visit the city. Shannon asks, have you seen the Caravel Hotel? I hear there is an incredible history there too. Caravel Hotel, not sure. Maybe I've walked past it, but it just didn't stick out to me. But I will keep an eye on it or look it up. Thank you. All right, so we are going to cross the street here. See, these streets are fine. This isn't bad at all. This is just like jaywalking, which I do all the time, and that's not a problem. But when you have constant traffic where, you know, there's no break in the flow of traffic, that's when I find it very, very intimidating to try and cross the street. Has anybody else who's here right now ever been to a country where the traffic is this chaotic? Well, it's not chaotic here, but you know, you saw before what it was like. Has anybody been in countries where it's like that, where it's like non-stop flow of traffic and you kind of just gotta walk your way through? Let me know in the comments. Let's see here. In front of us, though, as you can see, there are the big open-air sightseeing buses. I was actually surprised to see those here. And in a way, that actually could be a good way to see Ho Chi Minh. I wouldn't think that they're that expensive for a day pass, and they drop you off at, you know, all the main attractions. So that could be a good option for people. Ah, yes. People said, Steve says Cairo is insane. Totally agreed. I was in Cairo, gosh, maybe 8 years ago. Absolute chaos for sure. India, yes, absolutely, Ronald. Shannon says in Georgia. Oh, interesting, huh? I haven't been to Georgia yet. It's been on my list for forever. But didn't know that the traffic was that intense there. We'll have to watch out. Bus, you are in my way. Lahore, Pakistan. Yeah, I do know that they have a very high population there. Lane says, watch out for the drivers in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. They're the worst. Really? I haven't been to Yorkton in forever. Hello to Ron from New Brunswick's NB, Saskatchewan. I thought it was New Brunswick at first. NB, Saskatchewan. I don't know what that is. Interesting. So right in front of us here. Oh, wait. Shannon, what did you say the name of the hotel was? Was it Caravel? Because I see, yeah, Caravel Saigon. Right there. Good morning. Canada. Yeah. Okay. So Shannon, what were you saying was the significance of this hotel? Because I actually don't know. But yeah, that is the Caravel Saigon right there. So that's interesting. Huh. But yeah, as I was saying, no thank you. No thank you. So right in front of us, yeah, is the Opera House, and apparently they do put on fantastic shows. I was actually hoping to look into getting tickets here, but it actually was quite a bit more expensive than I was hoping it would be. It basically starts at 50-60 US dollars, so I don't know, you know, that is a bit much to pay for a performance right now for me, so I don't know if I'm gonna go, but I do hear it is fabulous. So if you come here, that might be something worth checking out if you really like opera or ballet. So FYI, we are going to head this way. Okay. No, thank you. Jesus. I don't know, there's some weird people this morning. Overall, actually one thing, let's have a talk about this. So, safety here in Ho Chi Minh. Obviously, being a big city, you know, you do have to take extra precautions almost in any big city. But yeah, I heard in Ho Chi Minh, you know, it is one of the more dangerous places in Vietnam. And I mean, I haven't been to all of the districts, so obviously I can't give an all-around sort of picture. I've primarily stayed in District 1, which is the main district for tourists. And overall, I'm not saying that right now somebody, you know, I don't know, might try and snatch my phone or do something else bad, but overall, I felt very at ease, you know, very relaxed, even compared to Manila, to be honest. I felt a bit more on edge in Manila. Not at all that I thought Manila is that dangerous. After being in South America, you know, it's not at all the same. Southeast Asia on a whole, I think, is much safer than sorry guys, I just got to think about crossing the street here. I will continue this conversation. I just got to focus on crossing the street. No, I think the light's gonna turn. I don't fucking know. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, we did it. Great. Great, great, great. You never know. There's no countdown, right, of when it's going to change. All right, as I was saying, yeah, even compared to, you know, Manila, I feel more at ease in Ho Chi Minh, and not that Manila made me that nervous at all. But, you know, I do get a lot of locals actually telling me that I should be careful, especially with my valuables. So of course, you know, I am going to take that advice and heed that advice. So obviously, you know, I'm trying to be aware of my surroundings. I especially try and not have my camera near the road. You know, I'll always face it towards the inner part where there isn't anybody, because usually the most common way that things get stolen is guys on motorbikes. You know, they'll drive past you and just grab a bag or grab your phone or something. So you especially want to be careful when you're walking alongside roads. So yeah, I will say that. But on a whole, let me stand in the shade. On a whole, I would not say that I have felt in danger in Ho Chi Minh whatsoever so far. I feel very comfortable in this city. I see, you know, locals relax. Like I see locals, you know, with their phones out, you know, doing whatever. And I see people even dressed nicely and, you know, just living their life. You know, in Colombia and Brazil, for example, like I felt like if you dressed really nice, like you automatically, you know, felt like a target. You automatically, you know, felt like you shouldn't be doing that. So it's just a different kind of place, and you got to adapt to the circumstances. And once again, just saying that anything could happen here as well. You still have to be careful. be aware of your surroundings, watch your valuables, but more than likely everything will be fine. All right, so another thing that I found interesting that was also told to me on my city tour, you see that yellow building right there, and on the roof it says landing zone and then the last mission. So there's a famous picture in the archives of the Vietnam War that said that this building was the last place where the US evacuated their own diplomats and some of the Vietnamese that also worked from Ho Chi Minh, or Saigon at the time, obviously. This was the building where they had the last mission, and the helicopter, left from this rooftop. So maybe some of you can find that famous picture online, but that was where it took place. I think I missed a little super chat here from Fa. Thank you so much for the super chat. Very much appreciated. Hope you're doing great. Message from John's Journeys. It is 3:30 a.m. here in the Netherlands, but we'll be in Thailand in 2 weeks, also going to Vietnam. Amazing. Hope you have a fantastic time, John. 2 fantastic countries. I will be going to Thailand again. Very happy to say that. And I'm going to be concentrating my time in the north of Thailand this time around, because last time I primarily went to Bangkok and then Phuket. I was in Phuket for like a month and a half because COVID restrictions started happening, so I really haven't seen any places outside of that. So I'd love to go to Ho Chi Minh, I'm getting things mixed up, Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai in the north. Those are the top places that I'd like to go this time around. Thank you very much to Alberto for the super chat. Congrats on 200,000. Thank you so much, Alberto. Very much appreciated. And also thank you so much to Silvio from Brazil, I think here. Yes, with your name. Hi, Alina McLeod. Thanks for the walking in Ho Chi Minh. It's a beautiful day. Enjoy it. Greetings for you and everybody from Rio de Janeiro. Thank you so much, Silvio. That is super kind of you. And that is my favorite city in Brazil. I will always have such a special place in my heart for Rio. I really do love that city. And I think, how long did I spend in Rio? I think at least 3 weeks, almost a month, because I kept having to go back there after seeing the places in the surrounding area, and I just loved it. So thank you so much for the support. Colin says the helicopter scenarios in the last days of the occupation were pretty crazy. Yeah, I imagine they were. What a time to have been here. Thank you so much to Arthur. I've been following you since you were in Indonesia. Just want to be safe and vigilant. Thank you, Arthur. I will try. But speaking of which, let's try and cross the street here, guys, while it's not that chaotic. All right. Now, if I remember correctly, I'm not going to stop beside it and, take a long video or something, because there is a rule here that actually you're not supposed to really film, government buildings here in Vietnam. But if you see basically this building that we're walking beside on my right-hand side, this yellow building, if I remember correctly, this was the kind of like station post for the US Army and troops or whatever. They kind of worked out of this building here. Obviously not anymore, but at the time. Thank you so much to Dalmatian Daisy for the super chat. Did you watch the Belgium versus Canada match today? No, I did not. I am not a sports person. It's not my thing. Hopefully Canada won. I mean, I will always root for the home team, so to say. But yeah, sports aren't really my thing. Now, I don't think we're gonna cross the street to the church itself. I'll just talk about it from across the street. Where I'm gonna take you guys is actually the beautiful Central Post Office. But if you guys can see right across the road, under construction is a cathedral that is called the Notre Dame Cathedral. And I didn't know this until a while ago, but I guess there are many cathedrals in the world that are named the Notre Dame Cathedral, not just the one in Paris. So I always found that interesting. Maybe somebody has the story of why there's so many with the same name. Here in Vietnam, the primary religion is Buddhism, but there's a lot of different kind of sects within those beliefs as well, like Taoism, I believe, is one of the top ones. So that is the primary religion, but obviously having a communist past, I think there is an emphasis on not having religion be a very important, you know, aspect to people's daily lives here as well. So, you know, so Soviet kind of mentality as well. And it's interesting actually because when I applied for a Vietnam visa, they actually ask you, what is your religion, on the form. So I don't know if it would matter. Like, I assume you could probably answer whatever you wanted and you'd still get approved for your visa. But, you know, I just found that interesting because I don't think I've ever been asked, you know, what is my religion on a visa form. I put non-religious because, I mean, that is true. I guess I could have put spiritual to be more accurate, but yeah, they ask you that on the form, which I found interesting. Big thank you once again to Harriet, Jim, and Yuki for the super chat. Harriet and I have been to both Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. Great memories. So love the food. Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, I totally agree. The food here is just like unparalleled amazing. So if you're a big foodie and want to try lots of different things, Vietnamese cuisine in general is just, you know, a very rich and diverse cuisine as it is. So just to come here for the local food is amazing. One sec, guys. I'm just trying to figure out one thing. Let me just flip the camera while I'm just trying to figure something out, guys. Привет из Calgary. Привет. Jay Murray says, don't miss the panel to American Benjamin Franklin on the post office wall. The French claim Franklin as one of their own. Interesting. I don't think I've actually seen that in here. Let me give you guys a view of the outside of the post office. So, look at this beauty. Absolutely gorgeous building. This is actually, for anybody who is in my Patreon postcard club, I apologize for my sweat. You guys will be receiving postcards from Vietnam, probably, hopefully within this next month. And I sent them from this post office. Oh my goodness. Wow, we have some very kind super chats here. Thank you so much to Rahul. Congrats again on 200,000 subscribers. Truly well deserved. Enjoy your time in Vietnam. Thank you so much, Rahul. You are so sweet. Thank you so much for all that you have helped me with in my channel and supported my work. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you are staying warm out there in Ontario, and hopefully you have a really good, not too cold winter. So thank you so much as always for coming out to my live streams as well. And a very big thank you to Jim Ross as always. Alina Dogging Scooters is a Vietnamese event. Only the fearless and vigilant survive. I received a couple cards from you yesterday. Oh, good. As always, a great walk and talk. The one in Montreal is a mini of the original in Paris. Oh, so there's one in Montreal. Vietnam was the French Indochina, so that's a tie-in. Amazing. Thank you so much, Jim. That is so very kind of you. Really appreciate your support as well. And yeah, glad you are getting my cards, because it's so crazy to me, just the difference in how long the cards can take to reach people. Like, I know most of the people got my first one that I sent in Indonesia, but I sent another one from Bali that I don't think people have received yet, but yet they got the one that I sent from Manila. So I don't know. I'm hoping that all my cards make it to their destinations in time, but the mail systems in some countries, I'm like, how does it take 2 months? What is it doing for 2 months? Is it sitting on a ship? Is that how the mail carriers are getting there? Because what could possibly take 2 months for a postcard to take that long? Anyways. Also want to say a big thank you to John's Journeys. Thank you so much for the super chat, and I hope you really have a great time in Southeast Asia. I'm sure you will. It is just such a special part of the world. Ukraine Dude says, feels like Friday or Saturday because Alina always does her live streams during that time. You know, I thought about it. I was thinking of doing it on Saturday or Sunday, but with the weather, like, you really don't know with the weather, and it showed quite a few millimeters of rain for over the weekend. So, you know, to do live streams with rain is very, very difficult. Thursday was the main day that the weather said it's supposed to be very clear, so I decided to go with that, and so far I'm glad I did. But yeah, usually I'll try and do my live streams on the weekends because I know people will have usually more time off to be able to come join. I'll probably actually do one, if everything works out with my special traveler, to do one from Hoi An, and I guess that would be next weekend. So maybe next weekend there will be one from Hoi An, which I hear is a really beautiful city in Vietnam. The post office looks like a palace. Yes, it does. And on that note, let's go to the post office actually. Thank you so much for the congratulations, Edmund. And thank you to Nightwing as well. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. I got all the big tour groups here. All right, let's go in here. I assume I can film in here. I don't think people will mind. Like, look at this building. How beautiful is this? They got these, like, I think these are the original phone booths, right? These look like phone booths to me. Or back in the day, we didn't have these fancy things that we're live streaming on. You had to make a collect international call and sit in this little room to chat with your loved ones. How times have changed. Oh, guys, it is so nice to actually be in here. I was like sweltering outside. It is quite hot. It's about 30 degrees outside. Okay, so this is what's cool. So this is where I bought my postcards for my Patreon patrons. Whole bunch of different stacks of different kinds that you can choose from. And then you get the stamps at the number 2 slot that they have there. It costs about, I think, $1.50 per stamp, you know, if it's going to the US, I think it was maybe like $2 because that's farther away, but for Europe it was like $1.50 or something, so not bad. It looks like the Grand Central Station in New York. Yes, you know, with the roof and the yellow and white color scheme, it actually kind of does. Very interesting. Thought of an interesting topic as we're in here. What is the English level like, you know, for tourists coming here who obviously don't speak Vietnamese? How difficult will it be to, you know, have people understand you if you are, you know, just an English speaker and are struggling with the local language? It's pretty good. Like if you're staying in the more local areas, I would say, you know, it's fairly tourist friendly. If you start probably going outside of that area, it probably becomes less. But even in the tourist area, I would say, you know, some people obviously understandably, don't really speak English. And funny enough, the guest house that I'm staying in quite a popular tourist district, I'm staying at the nicest lady's place. But yeah, her and I have had to use Google Translate for like a lot of, you know, more complicated conversations. Like when I wanted to extend my stay and wanted to like confirm we were understanding each other of like which dates and which room and like how much money, like we just, you know, talked into Google Translate and, you know, communicated that way just to make sure, you know, we were both understanding each other correctly. So obviously if you go to the Philippines, it's almost like a second language there because, well, the US was in the Philippines, and you know that's why it became such a prominent language for them. But here in Vietnam, while some people will learn it to obviously help them get ahead in different kinds of work industries, it's still not a very common thing that you should expect that people will just be able to speak English very well here. But overall, I found it fine. Like overall, no issues. Mike says Vietnam actually is investing a lot in English education, as that is one of the countries with higher salaries for expat English teachers. Oh yeah, no, I don't doubt it. I think, you know, if we have to choose an international language, and of course as an English speaker we are very privileged that English is that language, so it makes it easier for us. But like for example, if let's say Spanish was like the international language that would help me travel easier in most countries of the world and made my career prospects that much better, I would learn Spanish. I would, you know, learn as much Spanish as I possibly could. So it's understandable why, you know, if we've chosen that English is going to be the prominent language and you really want to have a more high-paying career, you want to be able to travel with more ease, I think it makes sense that, you know, you learn and at least enough English to help you get by, especially when you're traveling. Because if you're traveling to all different parts of the world and you don't at least know some English, I don't know how you're going to get by. You know, it's going to be Google Translate all the way. That's actually what my aunt in St. Petersburg, I don't know how she's done it, where the lady barely speaks any English, she just speaks Russian, and yet she's like traveled, you know, to so many different parts of the world, and I'm like, I honestly don't know how you do it. Like, how do you communicate with people? So yeah. Oh, my glasses are even fogging up. It is so hot in here. All right. All right, guys, so over here there is also souvenir shops, you know, if you wanted that sort of thing. So yeah, lovely post office, definitely worth it to send a postcard or two back home. Let's keep going on with our journey. Lots of photo shoots taking place here. kids. There is a really cool book market down here as well that I want to take you guys to. Oh my gosh, how cute are those kids? Oh my gosh. I love it. They're all dressed in the same colors, so easily identifiable, and they got a little rope they gotta hang on to. How cute. I feel like I've actually only seen that in Japan, the exact same thing where, yeah, like they all are dressed the same, they got the cute little hats, gotta hang on to the rope, stay all together. Overall, very well behaved kids. I think if I'm just gonna make a very general statement, I think kids are far more well behaved in Asian countries than they are in North America. Japan being the example where I was just floored of like little kids, you know, like toddlers almost, it feels like. Probably not toddlers, they're already going to school, but maybe like 6-7 years old with backpacks that are like half the size of them, going on the subway by themselves to school. Like they look like little adults and they're by themselves. Like no parent, I would think, in North America would ever allow their like 7 or 8-year-old to travel by themselves in a big city like Tokyo and be responsible. But at least in Japan, like, it's a fairly, you know, safe country, and the kids are just raised differently. They're very well behaved, you know, even though all kids probably have temper tantrums to a certain extent, but it's not like in North America. I don't know what we're doing wrong. You know, the kids are much better behaved in these countries. So I think there's probably a lot we can learn from them. Thank you so much once again to Jim Ross for the super chat. I was remiss in not giving congrats for 200,000. A friend who spent a lot of time found between English and French he could communicate in most parts of the country. Oh my gosh, look at the cute kids behind me. He also spoke a little Mandarin and said that it helps. On to 300,000. Thank you so much to Jim, much appreciated. And yeah, who knows when 300,000 will be. If I keep going at the rate that I'm going now with subscribers, I could very well, you know, hit that number, I don't know, by mid next year, which would be wild. But once again, YouTube kind of goes in waves, and it's hard to predict, you know, it's hard to predict how things will go. And one thing that I've had to do as a creator is kind of detach from the expectation that I have to be at a certain place, you know, by a certain time. Even though it's nice to set goals, I don't think hitting a certain amount of subscribers is something that I do have absolute control out of. Like, I can control what kind of content I put out and, you know, the quality that I want to put into a video, but I can't for sure control how many people see it or who decides to subscribe. So the way I look at it is, I hope for the best. Obviously, I hope for the best, but I'm not going to allow myself to get so wound up in like 1 month, oh, I only get 1,000 subscribers, and then another month it's 10,000, and then who knows, maybe 1 month I lose some subscribers, you know. If you're going to be in this for the long run, I think you really have to look at it as, you know, the long game of, do I really want to keep doing this long term, and not letting those things kind of sway your mood or how you feel about your work. So that's my rant for hitting 300,000 someday. So thank you very much, Jim, much appreciated. And yeah, interesting that English and French, I see, here's the thing, I know obviously since this was a colony of France, you would think that French is a language that, you know, some people here would speak, but to be honest, I haven't really heard it spoken. Like, even, you know, tourists, I haven't really heard anyone speaking French here, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't doubt that there are people who do, but I just haven't really heard it on the streets. So, yeah. Oh, thank you so much to April Santos for coming out. Thank you so much, lovely. Very kind of you to come out. All right, guys, I think I'm actually sweating more because I'm standing still. I don't know how that works, where sometimes if you stand still, you actually sweat more. If you're moving, I guess then you kind of have a breeze. Maybe that's why I feel cooler when I'm moving. But no matter what I do, I know I'm going to be a sweaty mess by the end of this live stream. But that's okay, because I'm really enjoying myself, and I hope you guys are too. Thank you to everybody for coming out today. But yeah, as I was saying before, look how cute this book market is. I absolutely love it. I just stumbled across this place a few days ago and thought, oh, for sure, I gotta take you guys to this little side street, because there's all these cute cafes that they have here. They have lots of books. You can also buy souvenirs here. There's some restaurants across the street. Really, really nice. Oh my gosh, more cute kids. They're adorable. Oh, I could never be like a teacher or a daycare person. It's such a hard job, I think. They don't get paid enough to look after that many children, but bless them for doing such important work. I grew up as an only child, and I've spent not that much time, especially around young kids. To have like 15 or 20 of them running everywhere, I just wouldn't know what to do. I'd be like, please, please stop. Don't want to ruin somebody's picture. A. Kumar asks, have you been to New Zealand? Yes, I have. Quite a long time ago, though. I think it has basically been 10 years since I was there in Australia. Did that in one trip and had a wonderful time. Two very beautiful countries. And would love to go back, because I think both Australia and New Zealand in this year have fully open to tourism again after COVID. So I know I am technically in the area to go see them, but I think I already have my hands full with Southeast Asia. Actually, on that note, I think I will be going to almost all the countries in Southeast Asia other than 3 or 4. I looked this up the other day. But yeah, like I'm free than I ever did before. So I am going to see 6 or 7 countries on this trip, which is absolutely wild for me. But I will see, a substantial amount of Southeast Asia by the end of this trip, which is exciting. They have the bikes that you can rent here as well, but I would not in this kind of traffic. Absolutely not. Just across the way is another really nice mall. It's called Diamond Plaza. I went there yesterday. We, on the other hand, are going to go to the other direction to the left, to one of the most popular I guess you could call it an attraction. Oh, actually, no, we got across this way. One of the most popular places to visit in Ho Chi Minh. Just gonna run across the road. The other nice thing about Ho Chi Minh is that there are quite a few parks. I love seeing that. I love seeing as much greenery as possible in a country. So it's lovely that you can be in the center of the city and still go sit on a park bench and feel like you're away from it all for a minute or two. All right, I got a watch. I think we're okay. Just let this lady pass and we're gonna cross. Now we gotta watch this way. It's a dance, guys. It's a dance. I'll just wait. Locals would walk right now. Locals would absolutely just walk through the cars, but I'm much more apprehensive to do that. All right. See? How lovely is this? Absolutely gorgeous. Aw, thank you so much, Silvio. Thank you for coming out. It is late, yes, in Brazil. So have a wonderful day and thank you for coming out. And then Jim, Harriet, and Yuki ask, have you been to South Korea? Yes, technically I have, but it was only for a day basically, and it was technically illegal. I think I have mentioned this story in a couple of videos. Let me just get in the shade here, where my dad and I were traveling to Nepal, and we had 12-hour transfers both ways through Seoul. And at the time I was traveling on a Ukrainian passport, and Ukrainians were not allowed to enter South Korea without a passport. But out of Seoul airport, they had day tours that you could do with like a group guided tour. And I wanted to go on one. Being like an 18-year-old that thinks, you know, travel restrictions and, you know, visas, those don't apply to me. I'm sure we could make it work. We try and exit the airport, and the first guy that I get for immigration is like, you don't have a visa to get into the country. You can only transit. No, you can't go on this tour. And I was like, okay, fine. You can have your opinion. I just go to the next guy and I just tell him, I'm like, look, this is my dad. Here's my ticket, you know, happening in 10 hours from now. I just want to go for a few hours. Like, we'll be right back. I gotta cross the street here, guys. Okay, one sec, I'll continue this story. All right. All right. As I was saying, so yeah, I tell him, like, I promise, like, I'll come back, like, you know, Scouts promise. And he was like, okay. He let me through. You know, at the time I didn't think anything of it, but now, like, I can't believe that an immigration officer technically let me illegally into the country, and then they like let me back in too without saying anything. I don't know. I still actually can't believe that that happened. But yeah, we got to go on like a 4 or 5 hour tour of Seoul, which was awesome. Had a great time. But no, I've never like fully explored it. Would absolutely love to. But yeah, I have technically been to Seoul. Jim asks, so that means another 4 months on the road. I assume touching on, yeah, me traveling around Southeast Asia. It's probably going to be even more. It's probably going to be much more because just in, yeah, Southeast Asian countries, I'm going to be at least for 4 or 5 months. Well, probably, yeah, 3-4 months actually. 3-4 months in Southeast Asia. And then I will be going to Japan. Finally, I will be going to Japan, which I'm so excited about. They opened October 11th to general tourism. So I want to go there for cherry blossom season, which will be like April, May time. But probably I'm going to get to Japan in like mid-March. So with those two areas of the world combined, I'm going to be traveling for at least another, I guess, 7-ish months. Yeah, 7 months. It's quite a bit. Oh my goodness. My dear friend Lane, thank you so much for the super chat. You are so sweet. So proud of you for hitting 200,000 subscribers, but more importantly for creating depth with your loyal followers. I recognize many names on here and am amazed by the community you've developed. Speaks to your character. You're gonna make me cry, girl. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. You are such a sweet friend, and I'm so proud of you for everything that you have, pushed to do in your life. And I think we're gonna have so many incredible adventures and fun times to come. So thank you so much for the congratulations. And I do feel very lucky that I have such a great community on here, because I would not have, this job and this opportunity, without you guys. If you didn't come to my channel, if you didn't watch my videos, I would not be able to do this. So it really is, because of the community that we have here. So thank you all so very much. And thank you so much to lovely Lane, who I'm sure many of you have seen in my videos when we were traveling around the West Coast in Canada earlier this year. All right, one sec, guys. Pat Smith says Cambodia and Laos will be fun to watch you visit. Japan is a great country to visit. No crime and excellent infrastructure. Have fun. Hello, Lane. Thank you very much, Pat. I do agree. All right, friends. Got another road to cross. Not too serious of one, but as you can see, there is something very special just across the road. All right. I guess I should just put up my hand. I should do as the locals do. Fuck's sakes. See, like these damn, you can't cross the fucking road here, I swear to God. Sometimes they do stop, see? Sometimes like they do stop for you, but a lot of times like you are taking a risk, and I really don't like it. Not cool. Not cool. It's like pedestrians are the most at risk out of all of you guys, and yet they get so little, care for on these streets. Like if you have an accident with a car, like it's bad, it can be very bad. With the scooter, worse, but still probably much better than a pedestrian, and us poor pedestrians just trying to make our way in the world come last. Very, very sad. Okay guys, it is what it is. I can't go inside of what I'm about to show you, sadly, because you do have to pay to get in, so I can kind of only show you through the gate here. I'm just gonna go close. Where's my camera? There we go. So I'll let you have a view and then I'll talk about it. Beautiful. So this is the Reunification Palace, otherwise known as the Independence Palace here in Ho Chi Minh. And this was the seat of power during the Vietnam War for South Vietnam. And it was in the last days of the war when it was quite obvious that the North was going to win. They basically did have the upper hand in every way. They showed up to this palace with tanks and basically said, we're here. And the government at the time, from the way that my guide told me, was basically like, yep, we surrender, we hand over, the seat of power to you. And apparently one of the revolutionaries said to them, you can't hand over something that you don't have, meaning that they already didn't have, the seat of power, so it was already there. So just a fun little quote from those days. And you can now visit the Reunification Palace. It only costs like 40,000 Vietnamese dong, which is about $2 US. And it is a very, beautiful building. Still has a lot of the original furniture that was in there. You can get a beautiful view from the balconies, and there's some beautiful gardens in the area. So 100%, if you come to Ho Chi Minh, it's definitely worth it to make a trip to the Reunification Palace. So there's that. Oh, I got a lovely super chat from Jim Ross. but I have to get into the shade because it is so bright I can barely see the messages on here. Jim says, I'll race you to Japan, but you'll probably beat me. Still trying to find the right language school. Their Saskatoon Flight Center girls tend to get around. Nice. That is true. We have definitely gotten some travel destinations under our belt, have we not, Lane? So thank you so much, Jim. Yeah, I hope that you will be able to see Japan soon as well. I would just hope that, yeah, by the time that I get there, you know, masks aren't obligatory in absolutely every single place, because in the countries where it's probably not going to be that hot, obviously, in Japan when I go, but if I had to be wearing a mask here, outside and inside, here in Vietnam, oh my god, it would be so difficult. And I just know that in Japan they're still wearing masks almost everywhere, so I hope that by the time I get there it's not that strict, because I'm already having trouble breathing. It would be just so much harder to like put a mask over this sweaty mess, so hopefully by the time I get to Japan it's not that bad. All right guys, let's keep on going. Now we are going to go to the second very famous and must-see place when you visit Ho Chi Minh, which is the War Remnants Museum. If you want to cry and be so disgusted by how humans can treat each other, that is the museum that you go to, where it shows the atrocities that happened all throughout the Vietnam War, but absolutely necessary to really gain the full depth of what happened. And hopefully, if enough people see these kinds of places, maybe, just maybe, humanity as a whole can treat each other better and stop these needless and senseless wars. One can hope. Singapore Dan says Okinawa should be the first stop on your way north to the mainland, and Fuji is a nice place to see. Oh, I don't doubt it. There's so many areas, like there's so many amazing places, even in just, you know, Japan. I already know I'm going to be overwhelmed trying to choose which places I want to go to. And to be honest, I'm probably only going to spend a month traveling around the country, because where my heart truly lies and what I feel I really want to do when I'm in Japan is just be in Tokyo. It is my favorite city. It has absolutely everything I want, and you know, I have friends there that I haven't seen in so long, and I know 2 months just goes just like that. Like 2 months is nothing for me, especially in a place that I love. And I think that after traveling Southeast Asia at a fairly fast pace for like 6 months, I need some downtime. You know, I need to just be in one place for at least a couple of months. So I think when I first arrived to Japan, since I have 3 months visa, 3 months visa free as a Canadian, I'm going to spend 2 months just living in Tokyo, and then 1 month traveling around the country. And depending on the prices, because Japan, you know, can be a very expensive destination, I may fly out to Okinawa. I've heard that it's an amazing place, and I'd love to see it. Haven't been there yet. But yeah, we'll just see what like the prices are at the time. Because I know right now, technically, with Canadian to the yen conversion, hello, weird. It's actually, you know, costs less than it used to go to Japan for Canadians. So we'll see if that holds. All right, look at this. Another street of fun times. It shouldn't be too bad once the light switches. Let's just wait. Oh my goodness. Will it ever end? There's an old senior on the other side of the road, so if he can make it, then so can I. All right, let's do it. Let's do it, buddy, you and me. Wow, look at this. This is, I feel like, the first street that I actually got through not bad. Amazing. What a dream. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much to somebody I'm absolutely going to visit when I'm in Tokyo. Hello, Shigeru. Thank you so much for the super chat and looking forward to seeing you when I'm in Tokyo. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting my channel as always. And then oh, no, this dude is doing. Thank you so much to SFC Paul Fowl. Thank you so much. Good morning, Alina. Good to see you again on live video. You will love Okinawa. Thank you so much, Paul. Yeah, if you loved it, that's no, thank you. Yeah, I have heard it is an absolutely beautiful place, so it would be wonderful to go there because, you know, usually my associations with Japan, I've never seen anything tropical about it. I've been to maybe 1 or 2 beaches, but it was like cold during the winter, so I've never been to a beach in Japan. You know, that's just an experience that I've never had, even though I've been there so many times. So Okinawa would definitely be a unique change. So thank you so much for the super chat, Paul. All right, guys, I am so hot. We are almost at the turnoff, I believe, of where the War Remnants Museum is. I believe it's down here. Let's take a look. The first part of our walk I have walked many times and overall know how to, you know, find my way around, but this part of the city I haven't walked as. I think this is the street, but I can't quite remember. Oh yeah, probably is. If all those tour buses are stopping here, then yeah, I'm on the right street. Since that's a top attraction. All right, let's do this. Okay. Oh no. People are saying I'm breaking up. The connection isn't good, really? How about now? Can anybody tell me if the connection is okay or is it still bad? Oh no, choppy. Okay, I'm just gonna keep walking and hopefully as I walk it gets better. Please just keep me updated if it improves or it gets worse. Oh, no. Come on, connection. Work with me here. Good enough? Good now? Okay, good. On, off. Okay. Well, we're almost at the end of the tour that I had planned anyways, guys. So let's just make it to this last destination that we have here, and hopefully we keep having a good connection. All right. Oh, thank you so much to Sandra from Winnipeg, another place that I would love to visit sometime, since I haven't really been to. I think maybe I went to Winnipeg once when I was a kid, and that's it. So many Canadian places I'd like to visit as well. Let this person pass. All right. So here we are, friends. This is the War Remnants Museum. I love that it says a museum for peace, because that should be the goal of, you know, any kind of museum that's talking about war. It should never be glorified. It should never be, you know, as something that needs to happen in the world, as something positive. Nobody wins in a war. There's no positivities with war. It's unfortunately something that has to, you know, I guess be fought if a country is being invaded and you have no choice but to fight, and apparently can't find a diplomatic option, but we almost have to have a prevention method instead, where we don't have these kinds of problems, because at the end of the day, nobody wins. Even the aggressor country that thinks, oh, we're gonna gain some land or we're gonna gain some kind of political footing, they don't win either. So it's a lose-lose situation, and hopefully we do have more people becoming aware of that. So as with every generation, there's less and less violence and political upheaval. One can hope. But yeah, guys, if you come to Ho Chi Minh, I would say that even above the Reunification Palace, this museum is a much more important place to go to. I think they are open every single day from like 9 to 5, so absolutely put it on your list when you come here. And that brings us to the end, guys. That brings us to the end of my walking tour of Ho Chi Minh. We've been at it for almost an hour and a half. If you could see my back right now, you would see that I am absolutely drenched in sweat. So I am going to go pop into a air-conditioned cafe and have a nice iced drink of some kind. So thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you for all the well wishes for 200,000. This is definitely a big milestone for my channel, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you all for your support. Thank you for all the super chat donations. They all will be going into me being able to produce this kind of content. So thank you all so much for your support. Thank you once again to Rahul. Thank you so much for the very cute super chat. You were so kind. And yeah, like I said, I'm probably gonna try and do another live stream from Hoi An, assuming that my special guest makes it to Vietnam this next week and we can move forward. So fingers crossed that that is the case. Oh, want to say a big thank you to my mom here. I see her for coming out as well. Привет. Thank you for coming out. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Sending you lots of love, and keep being your own kind of beautiful. Bye, guys.